Okay, so one of the first records that really like pulled me into like the ambient world is a record by Michael Brook called Hybrid. And of course, one of the famous guys, Brian Eno, was also involved in like recording and mixing and playing instruments in this record as well. And I think he's one of these like underrated guys, Michael Brook. I was buying a lot of these records in this period, also from John Hassel and these guys from that era. But this one really was the first one that really pulled me into like this ambient world. And I still play it today actually. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Has like a mysticism around it, how it sounds, very hypnotic. And that's what I like about it, very minimalistic as well. But it has like a very calmness about the entire record, which just really stands out for like ambient for me.
So a record that pulled me deep into the ambient realm. It's a record from Jason Hayes, back from 2004. And actually it's composed not per se just for listening. It was for a game. It's the whole world building behind World of Warcraft. And it's a bit of my geek side. I think I was like 9 when I started playing this. And it was in the early stages of the internet. And I think there I really got my sense of what atmospheric sound could be. And I instantly went on all the forums and threads that were around that time to dive deeper into ambient. And from there I got to the more known names as an Eno. But the start was with this first 3D environment online where big atmospheres were built. And the funny thing is, when I travel around for music, for instance, when we were in Australia, we were sitting there with guys who were like other artists who were, for me, like one of the better sound designers in the game at that point. And he was also wearing this shirt from this game. And I was like, okay, man, mad inspiration. And I think when traveling around in a bit of desolated landscapes, I still listen to this or get this in my head.
So a record that works good on the dance floor but doesn't really focus on like rhythm or beats. So I used to play this record by Eternal Landscapes on a Belgium label called Aguirre Records, and it's a pretty cool cover, like a gatefold. And yeah, it's basically 2 sides of field recordings in the jungle. And I think the only thing the artist did was record water drops falling on some tablas or some drums, and it just goes on for 20 minutes. In the early days I was playing this record almost always just to like, yeah, hypnotize the dance floor again and introduce a new chapter, or even open with this track for like 15 minutes to get everybody in this kind of very mellow state before we're going into this long journey. I'm a big fan of like field recording a lot of stuff on my own as well. So these kind of records for me, I just love to collect. I can listen to this for like an entire day. It's a little bit stupid maybe, but I just like to listen to this organic environment. And there's like a lot of stuff changing because it's the nature, but also not, you know. So I like this weird balance of, you know, what's actually happening. You have to really listen to it, and I really enjoy collecting these kinds of records. So yeah.
A record that focuses not so much on rhythm, but I use often on the dance floor is this Chain Reaction record right here. It's from Hallucinator. And I think it's a collective of like 4 artists. And it's very stripped back. And I think they're kind of fundamental for the dub sound. goes actually into rhythm. Like 10 minutes long, and that's what I love, the stretch of it. So this record in general is like a dance floor rebuilder, I believe.
All right, so a record or album that I've been given to somebody close that really kind of stayed with me my entire life, and also set the, I think realizing at a later stage, set my aesthetics in like sound I like to hear and stuff I just really enjoy listening to, is a record by my mother actually, and it's a album by Pat Metheny, who then formed the Pat Metheny Group. Pat Metheny is a guitarist from the United States. He's a jazz guitarist, a composer, and yeah, I think in terms of like fusion jazz, this album has been like a very important one, because I also think they won prizes with it, and it just, the entire record incorporates a lot of stuff that I also now value a lot in music, percussive elements. I think for this specific album, they were like diving into like more Brazilian percussive instruments that they implemented in the band. But also like a very wide atmospheric approach of sound, of melody, also of vocals, which I'm actually not really a fan of, but in this album they just like fit the entire aesthetic, and a lot of tempo changes, which I like as well, and groove, which is of course one of the most important things I like in my music. It's pretty funny because my mom used to play this a lot for me at home when I was a kid. And I didn't hear the record for quite a few years, and then like a few years back I went to have some dinner at my mom's house, and she had the record on actually. And when I came in the house, I was kind of shocked, like, yo, wait, what is this? And she was like looking at me because she put the record on purpose actually. Like, yeah, I played this for you like a lot. And then I think at that point I really realized, okay, now I know how much importance this has been already for me in the childhood, like hearing music and sound, and actually grabbing back to this kind of way of how I like music would like to be sounding. So yeah, very important one for me. Pat Metheny Group, and the album is called Still Life Talking. So yeah, definitely check out all his music. Super good.
I think most people who know me will know that it will be Chief Factory. The music is as great as its story. Chief Factory actually have been fundamental for the whole ambient scene in Europe. And thing is that I was finding out about this music on Astral Industries when it came out. But then actually I learned about the story that the guy behind it, Hanyo, we did it together with Koos. Hanyo was a punker back in the day. He's autodidact, like played piano, guitar, whatever, and played in programs with Tina Turner and that kind of stuff. So when I was listening to his music, his ambient, it felt like he made me think about a place I've been but I didn't know. So I was like, who is this guy? I just have to know, So I was searching the internet and found out his backstory. And the thing is that I think it was in the 80s, and he kind of just had this rough rock and roll type of lifestyle. And he went to Patmos. It's an island in Greece. And actually he kind of lived there as a pilgrim, to say it like that. Because he was just done, and it was an era where there was no connection whatsoever, and he came from a life that just went on and on and on. He went there, he slept in a cave for a month. He started to hear things. He started to hear this music, and then actually he came from rock and roll and came back. He went to his friends, and he was like, "Hey man, this is what we're gonna do." And then he produced the first like Chi record. So this whole 20-30 minutes you go through on each side is based on field recordings and what he heard in this cave. And back at home with his friend, he just reproduced it with tape recorders, flutes, whatever. So yeah, a deep one for me.
One of my favorite fusion records that I've been listening the last few weeks again is actually a band from Denmark, from Aarhus, so from the north side of Denmark, and they're called Badoon. And it's a band of, I think, 4 or 5 people, and it's kind of a crossover between like free jazz, electronics, ambient, a little bit of like glitchy IDM, but very, very lay low and very, very easy listening. And yeah, I stumbled upon this because I got this CD from a friend of mine, and I actually met one of the guys, Oliver, behind the collective at a festival 2 years ago. I think he has like a drum and bass background, and I saw him play a drum and bass set actually. And then the year after, a friend of his gave me one of his CDs. It's an older CD of them. I think it came out in 2009. But yeah, it's a super cool CD, very lay low, interesting electronics to listen to, and I really love it comes with a little poster inside, and yeah, super good.
For me, the most jazz fusion ambient area would be this record by Jon Hassell. It's definitely my favorite, and also because of the artwork by Matti Klauerwein. A lot in this psychedelic, new age style visuals. Highly recommend looking the rest of his paintings up. Worth having hanging at home also. It's beautiful. Yeah, Jon Hassell actually invented kind of his fourth world realm, right? So fusing more world-oriented sounds with ambient